When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
Fair is foul.
And foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
Doubtful it stood as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of kerns and gallowglasses is supplied, and fortune, on his damned quarrel smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel which smote bloody execution. Like valor's minion carved out his passage until he faced the slave, who ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him for the knave to the chaps and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping currents to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell.
Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by the most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, point against point rebellious, arm against arm, curbing lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts on her lap, and munched, and munched, and munched, give me, quoth I. I think which, the rum-fed Ronian cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger, but in a sieve all thither sail, and like a rat without a tail. I'll do. I'll do. I'll do.
Oh, I'll give thee a wind.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other. And the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know in the shipman's card. I will drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Wearisome nights 9 times 9 shall he wither, peak, and pine, though his bark cannot be lost, yet it will be tempest tossed.
A drum, a drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand,
Posters of the sea and land,
Thus do go, about, about.
thrice to thine,
and thrice to mine.
And thrice again, to make up 9.
Peace. The charm's wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How fallest called to force? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of earth, and yet are on't? Live you, or are you aught that man may question?
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth. Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are you fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grains will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate. Hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt yet king, though thou be none. So, all hail, Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman. And to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither had they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten of the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
and the Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. As thick as hail came post with post, and every one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him. I am sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, and for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
He who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wreck, I know not, but treason's capital, confessed and proven, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you into the crown besides the Thane of Cawdor, but 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles to betray in deepest consequences.
Cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder is yet but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir. Come what come may, time and the hour run through the roughest day.
Look how our partner's wrapped. New honors come upon him like strange garments, cleave not to the mold, but with the aid of use. Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to each other.
Very gladly.
Till then, come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor?
I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him as the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hast less deserved, that the proportion of both of thanks and payment might have been mine, only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not accompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor, which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or leap, for in my way it lies. Now, stars, hide your fires, let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
They met me in the day of success. I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. As I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. As I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, for which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with, "Hail King that shalt be." This I have thought good to deliver to thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. And yet do I fear thy nature, it is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, but not without ambition, but without
the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have great glams, that which cries, thus thou must do, if thou have it. And that which rather thou dost fear to do than wished should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden crown, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tiding?
King comes here tonight.
Thou'rt mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming.
Give him tending. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife sees not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold! Hold. Great glums, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Never shall the sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses. See our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God illness for your pains, and thank us for your trouble.
All our service in every point twice done and then done double were poor and single business to contend against those honors, deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, 'twere well it were done quickly. We but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself? I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and waits it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting, oh, I dare not, wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man, who dares do more is none.
When you durst do it, then you are a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail...
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. And Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him to. His 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbic only. When, in swinish sleep, their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. What, sir, not yet at rest? The king's abed. I dreamt last night of the weird sisters. To you they've shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
Is this a dagger which I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood which was not so before. There's no such thing! It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, o'er the one half-world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. While thy threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that their death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Jack, I'm afraid they've awaked and 'tis not done. Oh, the attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss them. My husband.
I have done the deed. This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
Methought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more! Macbeth doth murder sleep! The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast."
What do you mean?
Still it cried, "Sleep no more," to all the house. "Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more."
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go and get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here, ha? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean watch this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas and incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I'm ashamed to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed.
Wait, Duncan, with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer who had hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins to know about you. Here you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet he could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock. Who's there? Faith, He's an English tailor, come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here, you'll roast your goose. Knock, knock, knock. Never a quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, I pray you. Remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, and it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him, and it mars him. It sets him on, and it takes him off. It persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand to, and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think, being too strong for him, though he took up my legs sometime, yet I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has waked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour. I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down. And as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clamored in the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
Oh, my remembrance can't remember a parallel to it.
Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
The life? What is it you say, the life?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep. Up, and see the great doom's image. Malcolm! Banquo! As from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak.
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it.
Your royal father's murdered.
By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood, so were their daggers, which had unwiped found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Huh?
Wherefore did you so?
Oh, help me, handsome!
Look to the lady.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and my safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse and shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Thou hast it now. King Cawdor glams all, as the weird women promised, and I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings, if there come truth from them. As upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should else have desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up time betwixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become borrower of night for a dark hour or twain.
Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to your backs. Farewell. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings, and upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my gripe, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filled my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered. To make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? All of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour.
We are resolved, my lord.
It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Thoughts had, all spent where desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on. Gentle, my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fleance lives.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill.
Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light there. How?
A light, a light.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery!
Fly, good fleance.
Fly, Leon.
Hey, fly!
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Be large in mirth. Anon we'll drink a measure the table round. There's blood on thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
Well, 'tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats, yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal sir, Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air, but now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched while 'tis a making. 'Tis given with welcome.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on both. Here had we now our country's honor roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present, who I may rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absent sir lays blame upon his promise. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I am a bold one, that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there, behold, look, lo! How say you? Why, what care I? If thou canst nod, speak too.
What, quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
I want and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. There is no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, as but a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why so? Being gone, I am a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, and now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Questions enrage him. At once, good night, stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which?
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I will, tomorrow. And betimes, I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far that, should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are but young indeed.
The brindled cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, his time, his time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venoms sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fillets of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and burn. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blindworm's sting, a lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell rock, boil and bubble.
double, double toil and trouble. Fire, burn, and cauldron bubble.
Hail, dragon, tooth of both, riches, yummy, thaw, and of the raven, salt, seed, sharp, fruit of hemlock, digged in the dark, finger of birth, strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the cauldron thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's chaudron for the indulgence of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood. Then the charm is firm and good.
By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags, what is't you do?
A deed, without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it, answer me.
Speak,
Demand.
Will answer.
say, if thou dost rather hear it from our mouths, or from our masters.
Call them. Let me see them.
Come high or low, thyself and office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Beth. Macbeth! Macbeth! Beware, Macduff! Beware the Thane of Fife!
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth!
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bold, bloody, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Ha! Then live, Macduff! What need I fear of thee?
You lion mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquish thee until great Birnam Wood, to hide dancing in hill, shall come against him.
That will never be! Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Oh, sweet bodements, good! Rebellion's head rise never till the wood of Birnam rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet, my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more!
I will be satisfied!
Joe!
Joe.
Oh, his eyes and grieve his heart! Come like shadows, so depart!
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown is near mine eyeballs. I'll see no more, horrible sight. Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. Where are they? Gone? Oh, let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord?
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord. Macduff. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time, thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool, this deed I'll do before purpose cool.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom! To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion, and his titles, in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch, for the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in the nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you, school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and knows best the fit of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumor from what we fear, and yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea each way and move. I take my leave of you, but shall not be long till I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, it would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sarah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird, thou'st never fear the net nor lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet in faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Every one that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
Must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Every one.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and the swearers are fools, for they are liars and swearers, and now to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If he would not, it were a good sign that I would quickly have a new father.
Oh, poor prattler, how thou talkest.
Where is thy husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified as such as thou mayest find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-haired villain!
What? You egg, young fry of treachery?
They have killed me, mother! Run away!
Yet here's a spot. Out! Damn, spill it out! I say! 1, 2. Why then 'tis time to do it. Hell It's murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and afeard. What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man would have so much blood in him? The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? Blood. Will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that. No more, my lord. You mar all with the starting. Here's the smell of blood still. Oh! All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh. 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 Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo is buried. He cannot come out on his grave. To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come. 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 Come, give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfallen birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dollar.
What I believe I'll wail, what I know believe, and what I can redress, as I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so, perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
What Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. But I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul will wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I did find my doubts, why in that rawness left you wife and child, those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave-taking?
Bleed, bleed, poor country! Great tyranny! Lay thou thy basest shore, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is afeard.
I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland!
I put myself in thy direction. I am truly thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed before thy hero approach?
See who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, but times remove the means that make us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stands Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing but he who knows nothing is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead men's knell is there, scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their cap, dying in ere they sicken.
How does my wife?
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard. Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered.
Merciful heaven! What, man? Ne'er pull your hat upon your brows. Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children, too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must from thence. My wife killed, too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children! All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, hell-kite, all. Want all my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him. If he scape, heaven forgive him too.
Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready, our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long, but never finds the day.
Bring me no more reports, let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth, no man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon! Where gotst thou that goose look?
There's 10,000
Peace, villain!
soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and overred thy fear, thou lily-livered boy! What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul, those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thickening fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that! Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein must the patient minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs. I'll none of it. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Wood Forest comes to Dunsinane.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our hosts, and make discovery ere in report of us.
Shall be done.
We learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure it our setting down before it.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
Time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have, and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate. But certain issues strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir, as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died thereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out. Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue. Thy story quickly.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me enjoy your wrath if it be so. Within this 3 mile away you see it coming, I say. A moving grove.
I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood does come toward Dunsinane. I gin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell. Blow, wind! Come, rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back. They have tied me to a stake, I cannot fly. But bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none.
Macbeth! The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Oh, thou liest, abhorred tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Oh, thou wast born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of woman born.
That way the noises! Tyrant, show thy face! If thou be slain and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe again undeeded. There thou shouldst be. By this great clatter, one of greatest note seems bruited. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not. Turn, hellhound, turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
Have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
thou losest labor. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
To spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed the better part of man.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield! Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries hold enough. Ah! Ah! Ah!
I would the friends we missed were safe arrived.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head? The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail, King of Scotland.